Hello and welcome into a new year of In the Halls of Spidle. In this segment, you meet people here in the College of Human Sciences who are making a difference, living into the mission statement of improving quality of life for all and changing the world. Today, you meet a student who made headlines just before the winter break when she was elected Miss Homecoming for Auburn University. Madison Birckhead, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Have you even had time for this to sink in? You are Miss Homecoming.
Yeah, I really haven't. I feel like the homecoming game, and then we went right into winter break, and so no, it still feels kind of surreal.
Right, a longer break,
yes.
too. We all left at Thanksgiving and didn't return.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we're so excited for you and for us with you being a student here in the College of Human Sciences as well. So let me begin with talking about your platform.
Yes.
Your campaign, as you were running for Miss Homecoming, was all about Auburn Cares, and that is a program within Student Affairs that meets students right where they are when difficulty hits, and it's something that could knock them off track of achieving their academic goals, right?
Absolutely.
And the definition of difficulty is really wide. It could be stress and anxiety. It could be a divorce in the family, an illness, an injury. So tell me, how did you choose Auburn Cares as your platform?
Yes, so I was nominated by the organization that I led this past year, the Panhellenic Council at Auburn. And so in that, when I received the nomination, we were prompted to choose an organization on campus or something in the community that was serving Auburn. And I didn't hesitate for a second. I knew that it was Auburn Cares. I had personal experience with them over the summer. So in June, my dad passed away completely unexpectedly. And the next day, I was getting calls, texts of just support and sympathy from Auburn Care staff members. But it went beyond that. So they offered travel back home because it was so unexpected. Flights, I'm from Charlottesville, Virginia, and flights can be really expensive. They offered, food, places to stay, things like that. And then just a month later, almost to the day, my mom was diagnosed with COVID-19. Had a really tough battle with it. She ended up in the ICU for about 2 weeks. She was on a ventilator. And so at that point, Auburn Cares reached out in a way that I have never felt the Auburn family like that. They were just so steadfast in their support, texting me daily, just offering anything that they could, so that I knew that I had people behind me in what was undoubtedly the most difficult season of my life. And so then to turn around and get to work with them going forward and with this campaign has just been like one of the most incredible experiences in getting to serve the Auburn students in the way that Auburn Cares served me.
Right, that is so strong for you to share, and such a heavy thing to walk through on top of a pandemic year.
Definitely.
And there's a lot of underlying stress with that as it is. And I love something you repeated throughout your campaign, that you are more than what you're going through.
Absolutely.
And I think everybody needs to hear that right now. Students, faculty, staff, whoever you may be, with this pandemic and the unrest politically,
yes.
and racial unrest. And that's not even quite getting down close to home with what's happening personally for anyone.
Right.
So Madison, how would you tell a student, how do you help them realize you are in fact more than what is swirling around you today?
And I think, that is kind of the whole purpose behind Auburn Cares. And so the way that their mission kind of works, and the way that I strove with my campaign to show students that you are more than anything that you're facing, is to kind of take away all these barriers that are given to you by the challenges. And so if mental health is a challenge for you that's preventing you from succeeding in whatever it may be, seeking counseling, having people in your corner to help you get through that, seeking help, things like that are ways to know that you're more than that. And I think more than anything is really the Auburn family. And so really having people that you can go to, you can talk to, you can trust. And I think that Auburn Cares does an incredible job of being that resource for students. And like you mentioned earlier, just in such a wide range of things. It doesn't have to be a death in the family or mental health. It can be as simple as a broken ankle, and they're going to work to help you to make sure that you can meet all of your goals.
I know so many people listening are saying, well, I've experienced just about everything you just named, whether it's an injury or an illness or something difficult with their family. One thing you mentioned, you feel Auburn Cares or you discovered through your research of this too, that it's vastly underrepresented
Absolutely.
to the student body. Why would you say that? Like, what was revealing that to you, and what can be done about that?
So beyond the campaign, so even when I was just mentioning to friends over the summer about this office that had helped me, I got, what is that? I've never heard of Auburn Cares. What do they do? And so I kind of found myself over fall semester just explaining it to people in casual conversation. But then fast forward to Miss Homecoming and the campaign week, and there were students on the concourse who would come up and want to learn more about our platform. I would share with them about it, and they would say, I've needed this kind of service and didn't know that it was offered. And so that was something that I felt really privileged to be able to share that with people. And I know quite a few students who were able to utilize the resources of Auburn Cares because of the publicity that just comes naturally with the campaign. And so that's something that I think over the next semester with my internship with them that I definitely want to focus on, just letting students know what's available, because there's no circumstance at Auburn that you have to face alone, and so I don't want students to feel like they need to.
Right, even interviews like this,
Yes.
that naturally coming out of you being Miss Homecoming to spread the word. Is that part of what you'll do as your duties now in this role for the rest of your time here, which is short at Auburn, but you can get a lot done.
Absolutely.
During those months.
Yes, so I think the biggest target of this role is really just to continue supporting and promoting the platform that you ran on. And so I'm so fortunate that I get to work with them every single day of the semester, and so that will give really hands-on experience, being able to serve these students, but then also just being able to spread awareness about it, and then advocate for the students as they seek these resources.
Yeah. Well, through your research, as you decided this would be your platform, Auburn Cares, and now, as you said, you get to be there every day, which is excellent. What would you say are some of the biggest challenges facing students today at Auburn University?
I definitely think mental health is one of the most difficult challenges that students are facing. And I think that's true for any year, but particularly for a year where people are feeling isolated. They're being told, to limit gatherings and to keep your distance, which is so important and so critical, but at the same time can be really devastating for some people. And so I think that now more than ever, people are really struggling with that. Students especially. I know the transition to virtual learning wasn't easy for anyone, not easy for professors, not easy for students. And I think a lot of people are internalizing those struggles. And so making the resources known through Auburn Cares, through student counseling, all of that's just so important. But another one I think that doesn't get as much attention is food insecurity. I think there are so many students at Auburn and just in the community that are food insecure and don't know where their next meal is coming from. And I think that can be really hard to kind of realize when you're not in that situation. And so that's something that I definitely think, and again, Auburn Cares has the campus food pantry, and so that's a way to work with those basic needs as well. But I think that's something super important that sometimes gets overlooked.
Yeah, probably a lot of students, you get in your own bubble.
Definitely.
And it's hard to imagine that you have fellow students who don't know what they're going to eat tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So, well, let's shift to the College of Human Sciences. We also have the Hunger Solutions Institute. Food insecurity is something, a big focus here. But you are studying human development and family science.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that, Madison, about that as a major. What do you enjoy about it, and how do you see that supporting your work, even, say, in Auburn Cares?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of my favorite things about HDFS is how relational it is. And so from working with other students to working with professors, down to the content of the courses, everything is relational. It deals with people and serving people and working with people, and I think that's a common thread. No matter what your major is in the College of Human Sciences, you're there to work with people. And so I think that that's a really interesting part and kind of something that not every other college can say, that you really are focused on working with and for people. And then the piece that you mentioned earlier in the mission statement about quality of life. And so that's something really cool to see throughout my major as well, is just getting to learn about how to improve people's lives, and it doesn't just have to be in a specific kind of niche, and you can do that in any profession.
Exactly. Okay, you have, what, 4 short months?
Yes, ma'am.
Just barely that before you graduate. So what are your plans?
So I will be attending graduate school in the fall. I'm not sure where yet, kind of still looking through options, but I will be attending a master's program for higher education administration. And so that's a 2-year program, and then hopefully I'll begin my career in student affairs. And so that's something that, working with Auburn Cares just continues to benefit long term. That's something that I want to do professionally, and it's just been really incredible.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you take a moment, and what would you say to other young ladies out there who are just coming into Auburn about really getting involved, and even would you say you should really think about running for Miss Homecoming, and why?
Absolutely. I think one of the most important things at Auburn is that you have the chance, no matter what your hobbies are, no matter what your interests are, no matter what kind of person you are, there is something for you. I believe right now we have over 550 on-campus organizations, so there really is something for everyone. And I think that's my biggest advice to any college student, is to get involved and to take that time to intentionally create spaces that are for you outside of the classroom. Involvement is where most of my closest relationships have come from at Auburn. It's definitely where most of my professional development and growth has come from. And without involvement, I don't think I would have discovered student affairs and the profession that can come from it. And so I was able to kind of see that, experience that as a student, and know that that's what I want to do as a practitioner in just a few years. And so getting involved in anything, and I would definitely recommend running for Miss Homecoming, particularly if you have a platform that's close to your heart. I think that's the most important part, is just being intentional and being genuine about what you're promoting to the Auburn family. And for me, it was really important to promote Auburn Cares rather than promoting myself. And so that was another part of my slogan is, yes, you are more than your circumstances, but also this is more than just a campaign. Like, this extends for so long. And it's also more than just me. This is about every single Auburn student.
Right. Well, you did a beautiful job with that.
Thank you.
Before we say goodbye, and thank you for doing this, what would you say to a student if they're saying right now, I think I will reach out, I think I do need to talk to Auburn Cares? Walk them through the process, what they could expect.
Absolutely. So Auburn Cares has a really easy formatted website, super user-friendly. You can just go on there, and there's a form to fill out, and you can do that for yourself or on behalf of someone else. And so that's a really great tool as well. And so then a staff member at Auburn Cares will reach out, and it's just really personal. And so it can be as simple as a phone call saying, hey, like over the summer, I got a call that said, hey, we've heard about your dad passing, and we just wanted to reach out. How are you? Is there anything we can do to help? And so it's the little things that go such a long way. But the process is really easy and similar for the campus food pantry. There's an interest form. You'll have a quick meeting with a staff member, and then you can get set up with that assistance as well.
Okay, well, excellent. Thank you so much, Madison,
Thank
for
you
taking
for
the
having
time.
me.
We're so proud of you being Miss Homecoming. Of course, we can claim you being here at the College of Human Sciences, but above all, for your heart and your passion and all you're doing to really improve lives around you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let us reiterate. It is a strong thing to say I need help and then reach out for that. So 2 ways to do that are on your screen right now. Reach out to Auburn Cares, whether you're feeling stress, anxiety, something in your family, whatever you need. Find that help and get back on track of achieving your academic goals. For now, thank you for taking the time to listen to this segment of In the Halls of Spidle, and we'll be back with you next month with another conversation focused on improving quality of life for all and changing the world. Until then, take care.